Hi, and welcome to my next podcast. In this podcast, I want to talk to you about our sixth sense. That sense of it's almost silent, but it's also really loud. And when do we get it? Are we born with it? And why do we not listen to it? Such an interesting phenomenon for me, because if I sit and think about all the times my sixth sense has made itself known to me, and it's not even a great reaction. It's more of a deep knowing that then sends information to my head or my brain. So the reason I'm talking about this is our sixth sense is there to bring us back into our alignment. And I suppose my purpose in life is to be as close to my alignment and as close to the center of my existence as I can. Because the more I can do that, the more conscious awareness I have, the more I'm connected to my own consciousness, and the more I understand my purpose of actually being here. And it's quite an interesting thing. So a couple of weeks back, I had a situation occur. And I tend to ponder on the same sorts of things in my life, quietly to myself or under my own silence, that I don't really talk about to anybody else, but I kind of chew them around in my mind. And so I met up with Tommy and we had lunch. He took me to lunch and it was a lovely Italian place, and we had a glass of wine, and after we finished, I was feeling all loved up, and I had some sweets, and I was just feeling really good because we'd come out of lockdown. It was in that gap between the two lockdowns in Melbourne. And as I was walking back to his rooms, I had to go and get my car. My car was parked behind the back of a building, behind an alleyway. And I was feeling quite jovial, and so I crossed the road and I gave him a kiss and smiled and said goodbye. And I was walking down the street and something said to me, turn around. And as I turned around, I saw this man walking diagonally from the other side of the corner straight towards me, and something inside my belly went, that doesn't feel right. I haven't had this feeling before. Maybe I have, but I hadn't had this feeling before. And immediately my head's going, well, you've got to walk down that alley to get your car. And I thought, oh, come on, you're just being silly. This means nothing. It's the middle of the day. It's 1:30. It's in East Melbourne. It means nothing. But something higher than me made me stop and put my hand in my bag and get my keys out, because I just wanted to stop time. Just wanted to stop time, gather my thoughts, and make my next step. But if I kept moving forward, I would run out of time, because I'd be walking in the direction of not being able to handle the situation if my gut feeling was correct. So I stopped and I turned my bag around, because it's a backpack, unzipped my bag, got my keys out, and stood there. And I waited until he walked past me. But he didn't walk past me, because I thought, if he walks past me, it's okay. It's just silly, and it was silly, my sixth sense, and didn't make sense to me. So then, because he didn't walk past me, I turned my head to the right to look behind where he was. And he was standing 2 feet away from me, facing a white concrete wall with his back to me, waiting for me to walk down the alleyway. I thought to myself, oh my God, if there was ever a confirmation in my life, I just got it. So in that split second, I went, okay, so I acknowledge this and I understand this sixth sense and I'm feeling this sixth sense now. It was such a profound moment in my life. So then I had a clear decision to make. Do I keep going in the direction or do I turn around? So I turned around and I faced him and I walked past him back up the hill. And as I walked past him back up the hill, I kept walking. As I got to the corner to turn away, I turned around and he started walking down the hill. And in that moment, I went round the corner and I walked into the offices where Tommy worked. And I walked past the kitchen and he had a client that he was running late for, but he was in the kitchen making a cup of tea and he was talking to a lady. And it was like I walked into the office and looked at him to tell him, but it was like he looked at me like I was a ghost and said, it was like, you're not meant to be here, and I'm in the middle of a conversation. And I felt, oh, I shouldn't be here because I'm not meant to be here. So I just reversed, went and got in the car and drove home. Because what I realized in that moment was that I actually faced it. I faced the danger, or I faced the situation. And when I faced the situation, it was no longer behind me. So as it was no longer behind me, the person couldn't sneak up on me. Whether he was going to steal from me, whether he was going to assault me, whatever his intention was, he couldn't do it anymore. And I also realized from seeing Tommy and the ghost-like look on his face and the mirage of time that I had actually changed my fate or my timeline. My timeline had just gone boom, straight back into almost a cog of awareness of now I'm in a new timeline of awareness. That situation has passed and won't ever show up for me again because I took the step to listen to my sixth sense. And it was so profound because what that led to is my understanding of how our tissue works in our body in relation to fear and to danger. Because with that awareness, I've been able to now look at wounds in my body, vulnerabilities, things that hurt me, challenges that in the past, things I haven't been able to let go of. And I've relived that same moment as when I turned and faced the man with his back to me. And I've turned and faced those issues within my own body. Because by turning and facing those issues in my own body, whatever they are, I'm facing them. I'm facing them from a new place. Because when those issues happened in my body, I was much younger. I didn't have the wisdom or awareness, and I wasn't as consciously aware. But I'm still carrying the stories around the wound. I'm not allowing myself to look at that situation from a place of growth and wisdom and new consciousness, new conscious awareness. So what it's meant is that I'm now traveling to a place inside my own physiology, my own chemistry, by facing those things and then attending to their needs and then allowing those needs to be met by me because I now have the hands. I'm capable of handling these situations where in the past I possibly wasn't able to handle the situation, which is why I buried it in the first place. Yeah? So by giving myself the opportunity to see it with a new light, yeah, then all of a sudden those situations can be unwound or undone or healed within my body, which makes me more in alignment, more consciously aware, and it allows more things to come to the surface as they need to. And it doesn't have to be a tragedy or a confrontation. It was not necessary for me to confront this person or even get angry at them, because I don't understand their situation of why they would have chosen to do that in the first place. But I saw it as a massive gift. A massive gift. Because I realized in that moment, by listening to that sixth sense, that I have a confirmation of when it comes in the future and how it can change my path. And so I thought about all of those times we as women have not listened to our sixth sense, and we've let other beliefs interfere with our sixth sense, and it's led us to trouble, or it's led us to situations that we perhaps cannot handle. We're smart. Women have a sixth sense. We have an understanding. We ebb and flow like the moon. We understand these things. We create magic. We birth babies. We have a sixth sense when we have a baby, and the baby has a sixth sense with us, and animals have sixth senses. I can't speak for men. I'm sure they have a sixth sense too. But right now, my embodiment of myself is as a woman. And so I can only share from a woman's perspective right now. Yeah? And I'm a man with a womb, which as I just said it, I realized it. Yeah? So that's my insight for today. And I invite you to play with your sixth sense a little bit more, as I have many stories about my sixth sense. Somebody said to me the other day, actually they said to my daughter, and she relayed the message to me. They said, how could your mother have gone through so much financial tragedy and almost be homeless with you as a little girl, and then end up living in such a beautiful house and in such a beautiful location? And my daughter said to her, because she trusted. My sixth sense told me one morning when I was in a situation where I needed to make a decision, I said, give me the answers. What do I need to do? And it said, go to Gumtree. I was like, that is so ridiculous. That's such a dumb thing. Gumtree, that's dumb. And I even argued, dumb. Sure enough, I went, oh, fuck it. What do I have to lose here? Go to Gumtree. All right, go to Gumtree. And I found this stray, obscure paragraph about a property. And I didn't even say long-term rental. It didn't even say what it was. It just said South Yarra. I wanted something that was like an apartment, but like a house that had a big garden, that was close to the city, close to the beach, close to the river. I wanted it within that area. I wanted South Yarra was my area. I loved that little pocket because I wanted to be able to walk everywhere, and I needed to be around the gardens and the trees because I really want to live in the country. And so I found this obscure ad, and the only things that ticked boxes was the location, and they were looking for short term. So silly me, not really silly, but I thought, I'll just ring this guy. What have I got to lose? And he was really vague on the phone. He was an old guy, and he said, just come and have a look. I said to him, do you do long term? Yeah, we might. Just come and have a look. I said, all right. I arrived at this property. It was a mansion behind big gates, and he made a joke with me and let me in the gate, took me to this magical, almost like European cottage at the back. And he said to me, This is it. And I walked in and I walked up the stairs and I stood at the back window, which is exactly where I'm sharing this podcast with you now. And I felt the presence of a woman ghost. And she said to me, "This is it." And I got goosebumps all over my body. So I turned to him and I said, "I'll take it." And Claudia at the time is yanking on my arm. "No, mummy, no, mummy, no, mummy." It's scary because it had ghosts. But they were good ghosts. She'd spoken to me. And I took it. I had to wait 6 weeks to move in. And I took it. And we've been here. And since I've been here, I've met a partner. And I've had a little girl. And she's now 5. And we've been here nearly 8 years. And we love it. And we're like family now. And that's from trusting my sixth sense. So I invite you to try and see what magic you can create. So from me to you, thank you for listening. And I will post some more. Bye for now.